and welcome into the Jazz Huddle for your post-game report. Let's break it down. The Jazz won 115. They escaped with the win 115 to 112 at Toronto in a very, very tight game. Now, there was a lot of positives for this game. The first one was that they got to the line at a considerable amount. 41 times. They made 35. That is insane. That is a ton of free throw attempts. They made quite a few of them with 35 out of 41. So that's fantastic. For the Raptors, 11 for 14. I feel like that was really one of the big differences in this game between the two teams. When you look at rebounds, that was another place where the Jazz just dominated. And especially Rudy Gobert was just board dominant in this category. Had several rebounds, 48 for the Jazz, 31 for the Raptors, and the record shows, if you're gonna get that many rebounds, you're gonna be able to push it. You're gonna get more fouls, and you're gonna go to the line more. That's what happens. Donovan Mitchell with 31 in this game, 8 for 20 field goals. He had a pretty nice game. Not even gonna lie, he did. He really did. But then when you kind of look deeper into it, you start to see the little things that the Jazz could have done. And the first thing, and I swear we say this every single game, get off to a good start, please. For the love of everything, just start off well for one time. And Donovan also, and this is just one of those things where he might be in a shooting slump or something like that, but 0 for 9 from downtown for Donovan Mitchell today. That will just not cut it when you're going to play teams who are a lot better than the Raptors. The Raptors did play a fantastic game tonight. We saw guys like Chris Boucher just kill us down the floor every time. Boucher in this game had 16, 3 for 4 from downtown. He is just so versatile. You also had Pascal Siakam with 27, who almost made the game-winning shot. And let me tell you, this shot was like the Kawhi shot if it didn't go in. Everybody remembers the Kawhi shot. He was in the corner, fading away. It bounced around a bunch of times, and then it went in. This one rolled in the rim. It was like a toilet bowl. Went out, went back in, and then came out again. And that was it. It didn't go in. And it was so close. Right now, as I'm saying this, we could have been in overtime right now. It would have been insane. And I mean, it was a slow start offensively for Utah. And the other half of that, you have to be able to play some defense, man. And they did not do that in those first couple quarters. They did come alive in the second quarter, scoring 32, which was their second highest output of scoring in the game. 36 in the fourth quarter. But the Jazz overall started to kind of get their offense kind of rolling. They started to get a little bit of rhythm heading into that third quarter and that fourth quarter. The second quarter especially, I saw a big change in how they were playing, and it worked out very well for them. They started getting shots to fall. They started making their threes. But one of the things that I've noticed, and this is just so far, the coaching staffs for other teams have done a fantastic job of scouting the Jazz and figuring out exactly how they can limit the three-point attempts that are going to go in. And now the Jazz are still going to take a lot of threes. That's what they do. But they have not been making them at the same clip. They only shot, if I can go and check for a sec, they only made, I should say, 32.4% of their attempts tonight. And a lot of those came from Donovan. Donovan, of course, did not have a very good game from downtown. However, he really showed up at the end of the game, made a few shots, made a bunch of free throws. 31 points. He made 15 free throws. Again, if he can't make his shots from outside, he's going to go inside. He's going to get contact, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He did it tonight. He did a fantastic job about it. And overall, we just saw fantastic games from a lot of guys on the bench, too. You had Jordan Clarkson with 11, so not his usual night. 3 for 8 from downtown for him, 3 for 13 field goals. So he couldn't really score inside. And that makes sense because they have a lot of rim protectors, but the Jazz were able to adjust. And that is something that is so important when you have games like this where if you're not able to make the three-pointers, what are you going to do? And the Jazz showed that they have the ability, once again, to adjust and go inside, get the shots that they need to get. They did it, and they fixed a lot of their mistakes, but the little things are what counts. And there were a lot of turnovers for the Jazz. There were issues. We had total 13 turnovers, which is a little bit too high. If you ask me, 19 points off of turnovers for Toronto. You just gave them a lot of open looks. Also, the switches on defense have constantly been leaving shooters open on the perimeter. That is something that we are going to have to limit on the future. We are going to have to limit in the future, I should say. We have guys like Kyle Lowry they're hedging off of screens and they're coming up and they're just being able to shoot very easily. And they are not being contested at all a lot of the time. And we've seen this with Marcus Morris, actually Markieff Morris. No, it was Marcus Morris. He would come off of a screen and he would just be wide open and nobody would go to contest him because of this miscommunication on defense that comes off of these switches. They have to be more efficient about that. They really do. And because you're just not going to get away with that against a lot of teams. They didn't get away with that today. They really didn't. This game got way too close. They're really cutting it close, and they're putting themselves into these situations where it just makes it twice as hard to win. Like, why do you do that, Make it easy on yourself. Get off to a nice start. And I know it's easier said than done, but you got to execute early. And they haven't done that a lot this year. They really haven't. They've been able to come out in the second, third, and fourth quarter, but come the playoffs, come late season games where it's really important, come that doubleheader against LA, you are going to have to execute for all 4 quarters of the game. And we just haven't seen too much of that. We really haven't. But I think that we will. I really do. I am confident that we will see some good stuff out of the Jazz in the future in that sense. But just taking a look at the box score, once again, we had also 2 blocks for Rudy. We had 1 block for Conley. We had 1 block for Royce. Royce, by the way, with another 8-rebound game. He's getting back on that defensive prowess, you could say. He's getting back into his groove on that end of the floor. Niang only got 16 minutes tonight. I would not be surprised if we see a little bit of Ersan in these next few games. Maybe just a bit, just a little bit. I think they might want to work him into the offense, maybe take away a little bit of Niang's offense. We'll see, though. We will see a 9-man rotation tonight, and that's what they've ran all year. It's been fantastic. Bogdanovic, that is one thing I want to talk about before I end this. Bogdanovic may be traded, and I'm not trying to start any rumors, but his production is slow. He's not playing as well at all. He had some good moments in this game, I will say, but 2 for 5 on shooting, just 10 points, 1 for 2 from downtown. Just slow, He's not playing at that same, ability that he was before. But with that being said, I don't know who we would go for. I think that they would probably go for somebody like Harrison Barnes, who's in the prime of their career, arguably. But we will see. We will see. But with that being said, we are going to end this stream in just a sec. Also, Joe Ingles getting really close to that career high again. 19 points, by the way, for Joe. But again, with that being said, that is going to conclude your post-game report here on the Jazz Huddle. Make sure to smash up that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We are on the road to 1,500. We are very, very close to it. Help us get there. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And that will be all. Peace out, everybody.